Thanks for chiming in, guys. Episode 49. Check this show out. It's if you don't get value from this, you ain't getting value from nothing, man. This guy was a beast. Matt Johnson was in the house. He's a life coach. He's an actor. His list, you can't say the list. That you got to hear it to believe it. It's very long. The dude was incredible. He was one of our favorite guests we've had thus far. Check out episode 49, and thanks for all your support. Welcome. You're listening to the 27th Hour with Junior
and Dre Rocker.
Get ready, strap in, and hang on.
Hey, welcome to the club. Okay, we're on the right track. Like, so you good? You guys find the game? I don't know.
Welcome back to the show. Indeed. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, bro?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming down here, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where'd you
Yeah.
drive from? Down south?
Yeah, Draper.
Fuck me. Did you really?
Yeah,
I seen all your stuff's at Draper. I was just hoping that's where you, I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Down there.
No, I read your message, and it said I read it real quick because it, like, you told me like a week or so ago about the address, and I read West Valley, so I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, I got time.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, and then like at 5 o'clock, I'm like typing in the address to just start planning my travel and stuff like
It's
that.
like an hour and 5 minutes.
It popped up, and I was like, fuck you, Apple. And then I was like, oh, shit. No, it's West Point. Fuck me.
Dude, that can be a drive that time of night, bro.
Yeah.
Was it brutal?
There was some traffic, like, when I hit, like,
Kaysville?
yeah, Kaysville.
Fuck that,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That can be bad. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's good. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. I was just like, I didn't prepare. That's all right.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man.
No, it was my pleasure. I was really excited when you guys reached out to me to be on the show. So,
Well, likewise, we're glad that you said yes, man.
yeah, for
just
sure.
Reaching out to all the people and see what comes back. I don't know.
I love it.
What tell me about your life, bro. Where you from?
Yeah, so I grew up here in Utah. I have always just been here. I'm adopted, so I don't say I'm born and raised.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't born here. But
Where's you born?
South Korea.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. So born in South Korea, and I was adopted when I was about 10 months old. And I've grown up in Pleasant Grove and just kind of been here in Utah. But I've actually lived from coast to coast. Like, I've lived clear up in Seattle, and I've lived down like on the East Coast. And I came back to Utah mostly because at the time I knew that at some point I'd probably be a father. And after living in all these different places across the country, I was like, honestly, like, I want to live in Utah because I don't really fear like my son going out and being like, hey, don't go in this part of the neighborhood. Don't go out at this time of night. Like, I don't Utah doesn't really have that vibe like other states do. And so that's kind of what drew me back to Utah.
Where was your family? Your family's from here though, or when you got adopted, where were they? They just moved everywhere.
Yeah. They were no. So I did that all my adult life. So my whole adult life, I started moving and living all over. So just kind of seeing the country or whatever. I don't know.
But your family was from here.
Yeah.
That adopted you.
Yeah. Yep.
So, what was your adult life traveling thing all about?
Just trying new experiences. Some of it was just me wanting to try new careers. I went up to Seattle and I was doing like business insurance. Sucked at it. I failed that test like multiple times. Like I think 7 or 8 times.
Test. There's a test,
to get your license.
Is it involved then?
Yeah, you have to get like your license before you can ever sell anything. And so I started doing it, and it took me like 7 or 8 tries because I'm horrible at that. And it just proved to show, like, as an adult, like I just panic. And so I went and tried business insurance. I sucked at it. I would go in these places and they would be like, what about this? I was like, I don't even know what that is. You're going to look at my policy, you're going to change it? I was like, someone's going to, but not me. But yeah.
So you just traveled like really gambling in it. Like, seeing what you could come up with.
Yeah.
Were you married doing all this?
No. I was
single
still
guy.
Single, yeah. So yeah, so then I went down to like the East Coast, tried doing door-to-door sales on like security systems. I wasn't bad at it, but it just sucked. I was like, awful.
Dude, that's my kid's doing a little bit. He's dabbled in that. He said that can be
It's brutal.
a good time. He's like,
yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
If you're selling a security system, chances are you're in a place that needs it.
Yeah. Well,
So you could be in a pretty shitty neighborhood.
well, what's funny is that the first location they dropped me off on was a ghetto. Like, I've never seen a ghetto before.
They need the security system there, right?
Yeah, like there would be these houses. It would probably be as big as this garage. Like that was the whole house and it was on stilts, and I could see through the whole house. And I like text my manager I was like, aren't like, what am I protecting here? I don't understand. Like, what are we? Whose door am I knocking on? They're like, you just go. And you go in these neighborhoods and you're trying to do credit checks and stuff like that. I was like, these people don't even know what credit is. Like they're living off the government. Like they specifically say, "Oh no, man, I'm living off the government. Like government pay for everything."
Damn.
Like they legit take advantage of it. And I was just, what am I doing here?
Where was you at, ish? Right
Tallahassee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were like right in the South. We were in the dirty South.
Damn. That can be fucking sketchy, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm Asian. They don't get a lot of Asians over there. They're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Who's that guy? What is he doing here?
They're like, dude, you are fucking lost. And they looked at me more confused than they would like a white man walking through the neighborhood. So,
oh my God.
yeah, like all the other guys that they would walk through these ghettos, and like they're like these white boys. I know we shouldn't be talking about race, but whatever.
Fuck, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm okay with that.
I was like, you go down to the South, you'll understand why I'm saying
I
it.
fucking get it. I've been there.
Yeah, and so they would go through these, and they were like, dude, they're like staring at us, telling us to get out of their neighborhood. I was like, really?
Wonder why.
Yeah. I was like, I got invited to come in for fried chicken, so I'm good.
Did you really?
Yeah, for sure. I like would sit down. I was like, listen, I know you're cooking some fried chicken. I've just wanted like authentic Southern fried chicken because it's different. Because the way that they do it is that they have a pot of oil they just keep on their stoves. And so I started learning that. And so it's seasoned over time. So it's not just something you can go get. And so it's legit, and it's so good.
Is it bomb?
Yeah, it's so good.
Way different than Utah fried chicken.
Yeah, but like I'm like, oh man, this is the best chicken. And I remember this lady, she's just like, boy, all it is a little shake and bake. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, it's not that hard. Like she thought I was the dumbest kid around. Just like it's an everyday thing. It was so funny.
I've never been here. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I think that's the dope thing about where we live in the United States is that like food can bring us all together, right? Like
Oh, totally.
so many
Yeah,
people have different
totally.
things, and I'm kind of mad because I just realized that I've never tried Erica's fried chicken.
Actually,
Does she make fried? Do you make fried chicken?
I do, but since I have, it's nothing I make a lot. But
I
I will.
need to try.
Hey,
it.
she's
She's an amazing cook.
She is a fucking cook, bro.
Oh, I love
This
that.
one right
That's
here?
awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you what. We had chicken burritos yesterday. Fuck, you should have saved him one of those. She does these chicken burritos that Joe, you remember Joe? He wants a tattoo of a fucking chicken burrito on him. He lives for these things. Him and my brother Jake, they are infatuated with these chicken burritos.
Oh my god.
So I feel the
awesome.
cooking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
she
it's
touches,
true.
she's good. What are
Yeah.
you down with? What do you like to? You're married, right? I can.
No, I'm not.
You're not married?
Nuh-uh. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
married, no.
You got a little guy. It looks,
Yeah. So I got divorced about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So was married, but now.
What was? Yeah, just it happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole different interesting dynamic. And that's when anyone asks me, like when I go into podcasts or interviews and they're like, tell me about your life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when my life started, is when I got married to my divorce. You know, I really-
Explain. What do you mean?
because through everything else, I think it was just kind of living life. I don't really feel like there was a lot of anchoring in like in who I was.
Right. Okay.
Really, like it really came down to my marriage and my divorce, and that's where I started like being, oh, like life is really teaching me, really challenging me, and I just really feel like that's when I look back, and that's the only thing I can look back to is being like, this is a very significant point in my life that I start living life. So
What do you guys just grow apart kind of thing?
yeah, it was really interesting. So when we got married, about a year into our marriage, I met my first mentor. And this was before coaching was like this big thing that it is now. Like you go on the Facebook and everything and everyone's a coach.
Yeah.
It was before that. So I had never even heard about anyone hiring a coach unless you were like a millionaire and you hired like Tony Robbins.
Right.
Right. So I met my first mentor and I paid him, and it was a surplus amount that it was like ridiculous in my mind, because at the time I was like making $1,000 a month if I was on a good month, being a personal trainer. And he's like, it's $5,000 and this will save and change your life. And I was like, yeah, it will.
Yeah, in fucking many ways.
Yeah, and it legit did. Like, it totally took me down a whole different path of life. And throughout that process, I just really gaining a lot of clarity. But that's a good question. Now that I really think about what brought the divorce, it was, I would say it was me, but it's more about because I wasn't able to see the truth in like who I was. Because up to that point, I had just tried to live this facade of who I felt like everyone in life needed me to be, or what they saw me as. So I couldn't really be my authentic self, because some of those things I was hiding were deep insecurities within me that were holding me back and really limiting me in the marriage. And those were things that she needed from me. You know, as we got a divorce and as we started healing together and she started telling me certain things, she just said, I needed you to be open. I needed you to be vulnerable. I needed you to stop feeling like you had to be this perfect man all the time and this coach. I needed you. And you couldn't see that because anytime I brought it up, I would reflect and project it onto her and make her feel like it was her. And this is like where, for me, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm that guy where she's going to go and she's going to say, I was the narcissist. I was the gaslighter. And I was. You know, and I have to like own that but I didn't know what any of those things were. I didn't know that I was doing it. And until I got my ego and insecurities in check, I couldn't really admit that and see that, you know? And I think sometimes that's the hardest thing as men in general. You know, we're really not taught to be open and vulnerable and truthful. Like, we feel like if we aren't that man and we get these insecurities or we get exposed to our failures, then she's going to look at us as weak. She's not going to look at us as the man or the husband. And so we hide those deep insecurities. And over time, that does create the separation. You know, that starts to separate and you lose that connection with your spouse. So
that sparked you to dig then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That kind of lit the fire then.
Yeah.
You started digging and thinking and being like, holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
How is your relationship with her now?
Amazing. We have a really, really
Best
good
friends.
Yeah, we have a really great relationship now. I mean, it's like to the point where we can talk normal. Like, every Saturday, our son has gymnastics and we're both there, and she has her new fiance, and we all sit together and just talk, and it's totally fine.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's really great. And like, we understand there's this co-parenting dynamic and things that are happening, and bringing him into it, it's still this, like, we're all a team. We're all doing this together. And it took us a minute to get there. There were a lot of conversations, there were a lot of insecurities in me. You know, when he came into the picture, there was a lot of deep-seated insecurities within me that I had to get in line and check with myself and ask, why are you insecure about it? You know, what are your biggest fears of? And a lot of it goes into, well, what if he's better than me? What if my son starts drawing towards him and then my son doesn't look at me? And I was like, so what's my job? What's my job as a dad? It's to fucking show up better. You know, it pushes me. It drives me.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that I started learning, that it's okay to challenge all of our thoughts, our insecurities, and all of the feelings and emotions that we have.
What were some of your insecurities? Is there anything you want to
Yeah.
throw out there? I think that shit's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was I felt like I had to be someone that I wasn't.
Yeah.
I really had, like, in our minds, we set this bar for ourselves as who we want to be. and it can be really fucking high sometimes. And it's unachievable in the time, but we kind of keep playing it off. And one of the most powerful things that my coach always told me that I really didn't understand until after my divorce was to start where you are. And a lot of people don't understand that. You, like, for right now, like, we're looking at the studio and you know, we kind of talked about this upstairs where we're talking about the numbers. You know, a lot of people get caught up in being like, I got to have the 10,000 followers.
Yep.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to start where you are.
Yeah.
Right. And if we get caught up on that number of the 10,000, soon deep-seated insecurities start to arise. Like, fuck, I'm not good enough. No one likes me. No one's even listening. What's the fucking point of this? And it starts to eat us alive. And if we can really address those things, what we can really see is like where I'm starting, I just have to grow from there. I just have to take one step, next step, and I'm doing fucking great. Because in a year from now, I'm a lot further.
Yeah.
You know? So that was like really, really powerful for me to be like, fuck, like, you know,
I'm okay.
Yeah, like I'm great. Like I can fuck up multiple times. I'm still gonna be good. You know?
Hell yeah, man.
So
I like
a lot of it was that. A lot of it was just like, a lot of it was addressing that, you know, I had this insecurity that when people would call me out or people would tell me like, hey, you need to work on this or that I would kind of start beating myself up. And so I hated going there, and I'd become very defensive with people, and it was really hard to have really close relationships. And it's kind of always been that way. And so I started seeing that if I wasn't getting validation from someone, if someone wasn't like praising me, then I would say, fuck you, in a very aggressive and a defensive way. When it's like, man, those people aren't saying that what you think that they're saying. They aren't saying you're not good enough. They're trying to help you. They're trying to tell you something that they see from their perspective that you're not seeing. And if you can just take a step back and not take things so personal, but take it as feedback of, this is feedback I want to change, or feedback I don't give a fuck, because that's your thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. You can decide where it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think any of that had to do with how you were raised and how you were adopted off? And I mean, is that shit's brutal, bro? That's,
Yeah.
Do you remember that being a thing, or did you just have a family? How did that work for you? Was that something you have in your head and the world's against me kind of an idea, or were you too young? How did that go?
So this is where I like start talking to people when I coach them, is like the psychology behind it is like, as kids, if we don't feel validated and loved inside the home, if we feel like we're not safe in those confines of our home, and not necessarily like as physically protected, but just emotionally, mentally, and just like as a kid being validated in who they are, that is stuff that I never really felt like I had. I really lived my life thinking that I was just by myself. Like when I have memories, I don't really have my parents in it. Like you might have these like fond memories of you and your family and things. I instantly go to just things I did by myself.
Right.
I was outside playing basketball. I was outside with my friends. I was outside riding my bike to the store. You know, it's stuff like that where I don't really have fond memories with my family. And so when I start looking at that, I start seeing like how that's going to affect me as an adult, is that I'm going to be someone that could get into a relationship where I'm like desperately seeking validation, desperately seeking love, desperately seeking all of those things that you didn't get as a kid. And so, yeah, I had to really put myself in line, and it tested me, because when I grew up and after the divorce, I was like, fuck, I don't know what love is. I've never felt like I've experienced it.
Right.
You know, and so it's super, even to this day, like that's the biggest hurdle for me, is to like actually figure out for me, what is love and how do I really trust it? Because I don't know. It's like a really weird sensation to be like, I don't know. You know, I don't know what that feels or really looks like to where I can trust it fully.
It's so real though.
Mm-hmm.
That's real, bro.
Yeah.
So you don't have, do you know your parents at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you do now?
Yeah. Like I do know, no, I don't know my birth parents at all.
Oh, that's what I meant. Your birth parents.
Yeah. No, I don't have any, I had no idea. And that whole story is like fascinating, because if you look at adoptions in like the 80s, when it like first opened, there was a flood of adoptions from South Korea when that opened. Like tens of
how
hundreds
come?
of thousands.
I wonder why.
Because it was the only time I think like it was one of the first times where you could adopt an Asian, like not China, not North Korea. Like it was like that was the first time you could really just start adopting like an Asian, you know, a full blown Asian, I guess, you know. And from what I noticed, like I mean, like that's what I know.
And
but
why? So the parents, there's just an overwhelming demand here for that, and the people over there were okay with
yeah.
just being paid for this, or
Yeah, I mean, like the culture over there. I mean, I know that my story is that my mom wanted to keep me, but she couldn't because like she wasn't married, and so she had to
Holy
give me.
fuck.
Yeah, so she had to give me up. Like it would be look bad on the family name. So
damn,
yeah, it's like a whole Mulan story, like that
Damn.
type of thing. You know,
that's real.
like,
Then that's real.
Yeah, and so
That's fucking garbage.
yeah, and they're all closed.
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah. So anyone that was like adopted during that flood, to find your parents, it's extremely difficult. I started doing research on it, and I was like, dude, this would be a cool Netflix documentary. like,
Absolutely.
to go chase this down. Like,
Fucking rights it would be.
yeah.
Well, I instantly think about your mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for anybody, right? Any culture, any fucking where in the world, for a mother to lose their child, all because of some pride, I guess, family
Yeah.
pride, tradition, maybe.
Tradition, yeah.
It's fucking
That is horrible because your birth mother may not felt that way, right?
Right.
That's
like
really weird, bro.
Yeah.
That's
super
horrible.
weird.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't know, but that's just fuck. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Like,
That's really weird.
yeah. So when I like talk about like people, I'm like, it's kind of funny. Like, you could like go trace down like where you were born. You were tracing like these like down to like you just know. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know any of that. I was like, that's a whole fucking mystery.
You don't even know what city, like, would it be a city or a
Yeah, I think there's
spot or
a
an
city
area?
like, but it's still like for me, it feels really unsure because like when I hear people like their voices, it just sounds not very confident. It just sounds like I kind of maybe guessing.
So you just fucking God bless your brain. You can just you've just turned this off. You found some sort of a closure is a shitty word, but a way to move forward with it and be okay with it.
Yeah, yeah.
How? How do you do that?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like,
That's really powerful, bro.
yeah, because I mean, I when I went through my divorce, that was the first time where like I remember going down I-15 and I was just flooring it. It was like 100 miles an hour. Like everyone had left me. Like my family wouldn't answer my phone calls. Like they took my ex's side 100%. And the story made it look like I cheated on my wife and I didn't. And like, but no one would hear me out and they would just hang up on me. And they were like, you need to cool down. And I'm like, what? Like, you're my
God.
family.
Damn.
Yeah. Like I was like, you're my family. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to cool down. You guys won't even talk to me. So I had no one. And so I was flooring it and I was like, I'm going to run away. Like, I know how to do this. Like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I was like, I know how to do this and people don't realize that I know how to do this and be off like the grid or I'm just going to kill myself. I like literally was like, I'm going to wait till a diesel's coming and I'm going to swerve as hard as I can. And
Holy fuck, Matt.
yeah, like it was stuff like that. The thing that saved me was on my way, I was trying to do whatever I could to protect myself. So I called a lawyer and it was a Saturday. No one was open. But someone called me back and he's like, yeah, come to my office downtown. And I was up by here. I was like literally by Kaysville.
Headed north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I turned back down and I went down to see this lawyer in Salt Lake.
I'm glad he fucking called you.
I know, right? Yeah, because I was just gone.
You don't know where you were headed to Idaho-ish somewhere.
Yeah. I was probably going to go to like Seattle onto the coast and drop my car off and like just disappear. So yeah, my mom did it once as a child. None of my family knows that I know this. I found diaries and there was a point in my childhood where my mom disappeared.
Your adoptive mother.
Yeah. Yeah. She disappeared and no one knew where she was. And I found my aunt's diary because she's the one that found my mom. And I read the whole thing, how it all played out, and no one knows that I know that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I read the whole thing. I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
She
my
was
mom
just-
was smart. Like,
She needed a minute.
Oh, she cried commit suicide. Like, my mom
Oh,
did. So,
God.
yeah. So, yeah, she tried to commit suicide. yeah, it was just fucking crazy. And so, yeah, so because of the lawyer, I went back, and I remember like for the longest time, I just sat in my house and I kind of, I played the pity party. I was like, fuck this, fuck life, fuck everyone, like leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
And I just sat in my home, like, and I was just like, my world was shattered. I was a gym owner at the time. We owned a gym. And I just was like, I don't fucking care. Everything was collapsing before me, like left and right. People were leaving the gym, like trainers were leaving the gym. I'm getting a divorce. I was like, dude, everything's just fucking falling apart. I don't even care. But I remember sitting there, and I remembered that this was the pivotal moment. I said, you got two choices. End it here, and just realize that, like, if you end it here, how long does it take before someone knocks on that door to realize that you're missing, that, like, something's seriously wrong? And I was like, I don't know. Because I don't know. Like, no one's calling me. No one cares. Like, it could be days. And the only reason it would be days is because my ex would be like, I can't get a hold of Matt, and I need to talk to him. And that would be the only reason. And I was like, that's fucking miserable. And I looked at, like, the circle. I was like, where the fuck is everyone? Like, I have this big circle of people.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is everyone? And I realized that the circle that I put myself around, they only wanted something from me if I paid them. They were all business transactions. And that was all I was good for. And I was like, fuck. That's the kind of legacy I just created. I created a business relation legacy. That's all that my life revolved around, was business. And so at that point, I was like, so now I can just say, there's no one else. Let's just wipe the board clean, start over. Who do I want to be? What do I want the rest of my life to look like? And that's really a pivotal moment where I started to, like, realize that, like, I can do this.
So what was your other choice? You said you had two choices.
Yeah. So I could off myself, kill myself, go that route.
Or fucking buck up and let's do this.
Yeah. And that changed everything. I was like, I'm just going to lean into it. I basically isolated myself. I'd go to work, come home, and isolate myself. I just sat in silence. Like, people were like, dude, you're fucking weird. And I'd be like, no, dude, like, I don't want to be around anyone. I just isolated myself. And there was moments where I would just go into my insecurities and I would just challenge myself. And it hurt. Like, it was a painful thing. I remember, like, one night I just sat in my living room and I just cried, like, in a painful cry. Like, it hurt. But that was the most therapeutic cry I've ever had, where it was me releasing a lot of that shit that I was bottling up. And after that, I always tell people, I'm like, when you go look the devil in the eyes and you can make peace with the devil, I mean, you'll be good.
And you did that with you.
Mm-hmm.
That was you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. So you were at that point, the wife had gone, she had left, you were alone, but you had a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she had him,
Yeah.
and you had visitation kind of thing.
Yeah. So we did 50-50, but during that time, the most painful thing that, like, really, like, put me in line also to change is he didn't want to be with me. Like, he would kick and scream, and that tore me apart. He's like, I don't want to go with Dad. I don't, like, literally saying these things at, like, a 2 to 3 year old and screaming. And I was like, dude, my son doesn't want to be with me. Like, what kind of person am I? Like, this whole time I've been tooting my horn that I'm, like, this great father. I was like, obviously I'm not, because he doesn't want to be here with me. And that was an eye-opening experience too, to be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, if I'm not being the father, like, just pretending, so I put myself in line in that.
So you were able to cultivate this all by yourself with no help.
Mm-hmm.
You've had no structure in your life, hardly. Your adoptive parents obviously have done well for you. They helped, but you've been abandoned your whole life, man.
Yeah.
And kind of left and to be this guy to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I just challenge everything. I continue to do it. Like, there's certain things, like, as I get into new relationships that show up, and I challenge the fuck out of it. I'm like, damn, that's an insecurity. Why am I, like, feeling that?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that them or is it me? Are they, like, the asshole, or is it me?
What do you find most of the time?
It's me. Like, most of the time, it's always going to be me. And it's always going to be, like, underlying something. Like, it could be like, oh, no, I'm confusing this, where it's an insecurity, but it's actually a desire, like, not being fulfilled, and being like, oh, like, I wanted to spend more time with you. I didn't want to, like, leave. I didn't want the date to end. I didn't want the night to end, and sometimes you're feeling like it's an insecurity or something. But then I also notice self-sabotaging behaviors. As soon as something comes up that's uncomfortable, I notice that, you know, I start panicking and doing these self-sabotaging things.
Like what?
A lot of it would just be like waiting for it to end, just waiting for the worst of the worst. And I noticed in my language, it would be subliminal to me, like tracking it towards like it ending. And I was like, damn, like, yeah, because I'm the only underlying denominator when it comes to all these relationships. Why are they like that? It's because my subliminal messaging and wording and how I'm communicating is actually saying, yeah, you should leave. Yeah, you should not like want to be with me, or like you should not want to love me. I'm doing it myself, you know?
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
You're able to dig all this up.
Mm-hmm. I go in a lot of self-analyzing, just like even coming in here, I'm like feeling what I'm like feeling coming into here. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to say? We don't even have a topic. What the fuck am I going to say? It's like
Exactly.
this guy, you know?
That's exactly how I designed it.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm a warrior. Fuck, I'm a
Fucking
king.
right, you're a warrior.
Fuck, like, I'm powerful. Like, I know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show up that way, you know?
Attaboy. I like that.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with the same idea because it scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say. I have the fucking everything to say.
Yeah.
I do that for a reason as well, because I am scared of it. We have a lot of similarities that way, where
Yeah.
I want to go right at what makes me a little nervous. I have nothing to fall. I have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I just want to get to know you, man.
Yeah. I love it.
And it always is so rich.
Mhm.
It's so full. And he'll bring and she'll bring, and everybody will start blurting and bringing, and it's just this fucking cool. That's what's beautiful about it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I always tell people, I'm like, the only reason why you're nervous to talk in like public speaking or anything is because you're trying to think of shit that you don't know. You're thinking that you got to talk about shit that you don't know. Don't do that. Just talk about the shit that you do know. You're fine.
That's pretty much real, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to dig up shit you don't. People call it out like that.
Yeah.
They can feel it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this guy got going on?
Yeah, people are like, oh, like, you sound like you don't know what you're talking about. Well, fuck, you don't, because you're just trying to make up shit as you're going
Right.
on.
That's exactly why I have no plan for this.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
He's 5 now.
5.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to be a father to you?
That's a loaded question. It's legacy. Legacy goes down to everything. Like that is who I will be known as, and how he sees me is like the most important thing. There's no one else I really give a shit about. Like I tell people, I was like, well, your opinion on me, that how you view me, I don't give a fuck. Like no matter what you say, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what I say. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because I've been alone. I've been there to where no one's by me, so I don't actually, I don't like anticipate or expect you to be by me. I don't expect you to support me. I don't expect you to like me. If you do, great. Like, let's talk. Let's get along. So, but like with my son, that matters, you know, and it changes everything about the intention of how I do and how I live life. I see him and I see how he lives. I see the things, and like for me, it's so important to be that leader to him and teacher. And I always tell people, I'm not here to protect my son. I can't. I can't promise something. A lot of times parents today, they're trying to protect their children. I was like, you got to understand that's impossible. That's a guarantee you can't fulfill. And so when you fail at that, it's going to suck really bad for you. And you're going to feel like a failure. So I'm not going to promise my son I'm going to protect him. Even physically, I'm like, I can't promise that. I can't promise that you're invincible to anything. What I can say is that I will teach you and I will lead you as powerfully as possible. And that's the only guarantee I can do. But that makes me accountable. So a lot of it, parenting is accountable for who you are and how you're showing up in the world. So I think that's how I would answer it.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's just a big key word that I enjoy is accountability.
Yeah.
I love that word.
Yeah. Something you said that really stuck out to me was legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, let me ask you guys a question, like, because I kind of feel the same way. It's like, I don't give a fuck about what people say, and I'm going to live my life. You're going to have your opinion about me regardless. And I'm like you, man. Like, I want my kids to understand that who dad is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a part of me that I do want that legacy to, when I'm gone, I want Junior to be like, am I stone? Dre was a good dude,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not just my family, but I do want to leave a legacy further than just my own seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And this is what I tell people. It's like when I say I don't give a fuck about you and I don't give a fuck what you think about me, that sounds really abrasive. As like because we're so used to attaching good and bad things to words. I was like, it actually doesn't mean anything. It's actually a neutral conversation that we're having here. It means that you have the choice to like me or not. I have the choice to like you or not. The thing that I always go back to is that my intentions, I'm the only one that knows what those are, and I'm the only one in control of those. And that's what's most important. I know my intentions, like when I'm talking to someone and how I'm treating them, I know my intentions. Now, if you want to be an intentional dick and asshole, you can totally do that. That will be your legacy. That's what your kids will see. If you want to be a victim, if you want to do that, cool. That's what you're going to choose, and that's what your legacy is going to be. And so when I say that and I tell my son, like, how you see me live, though, I intentionally live to be someone who was a leader, who thought for his own self, who lived the life that he wanted to live. He was a creator. He was someone that wanted to add value to the world. You know, those are the key principles that I really try to live by, and I hope that my son sees. So, yeah, when I say fuck you or fuck me, whatever, like, you know, it sounds very bad because of how the world interprets it. But, like, if you really look at it, like, that's the way it should be.
Listen, I get it. They all get it too. If you've been around me or listened to me speak one word, you'll know, like, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't always have a perfect explanation for it other than that's me. I'm very, very wide open.
Yeah.
Full throttle to I think I'm very misunderstood 98% of the time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I know where I'm headed to,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel the same way, man. I think that's powerful to say, no, man, fuck that. You're cool. Do your thing.
Yeah.
When I say it, it creates fear. You can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
People around us are like, it makes everybody very uncomfortable. It's not as, I don't know, I don't feel it as bad when you do it.
He says
I
it
don't
with
give
a
a
smile
fuck
on his face.
I don't fucking care what you think of me. When I say it, people fucking clam up and shit
Yeah.
changes, and I hate that. But
Yeah.
I'm appeared, I think, as an aggressive kind of a person. And I'm very not an aggressive person at all. Very sensitive dude. But I feel the same way, man. I think that's healthy. I think it's good that people know how you feel, and I think it's okay to say what you need to say.
Yeah.
And if somebody takes it a certain way, that's totally okay.
Yeah. I tell people I don't have the energy or capacity to take on how you feel as my responsibility. Like, that's the problem in the world today right now.
Yep.
I was like, you got to be responsible for your own fucking feelings. Like, and how you
Accountability.
feel. Yeah. It's like, it's accountability. I was like, that's the biggest thing we lack in the world
Yep.
today. I was like, could you imagine like trying to make everyone happy? I was like, Jesus Christ himself couldn't do it.
Right.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
You know? Like
You
that.
got to create that in here, right?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, like that's such an impossible mission that I don't even want to do that. I don't even care to do that. I care to be me, and I care to share what I want to share and be who I want to be, because for however many years of my life, I lived it trying to be what everyone wanted me to be. And I was fucking miserable. It created divorce. It created me to be lost and confused about who I am and what my purpose on life was. And so when I saw that, I was like, so I'm not going to play by your rules anymore. Like, you got to understand that life has no fucking rules. And I always take it back to business and being like, if the pool noodle or dildos can make millions of dollars making foam noodles that you can float on or rubber dicks, I can promise you there's no fucking rules in life.
And you could make one or the other, work for one or the other, I'm sure of it. It is. There are no rules.
There are no
Zero.
rules. And that's what's amazing is like when you start to understand that life is played by rules of choice and it's open choice. And I love it when I get like a Mormon in this conversation, and I'm like, you guys don't even play by this rule. You got to understand there's choice. It's like you believe in free agency more than anyone. It's like, do you understand what that means? How you think, how you feel, how you see, how you speak, and what you create is a complete choice down to like every little particle of energy, you know? And when you start to live by that rule, you can see that that's an unlimited amount and decisions and choices that you can make in your life to make it the best fucking life you've ever lived.
It is sad to watch that all be what it is too. I'm around it a lot too, and it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting, right, to listen to you said purpose, right? So we're up here, we work with people, and 60-year-old people, 50-year-old women the other day talking about, this crushed my heart, worrying about getting a tattoo, a placement of a tattoo where it wouldn't be seen so her mother wouldn't see this tattoo. Holy mother of God. I thought, well, are you fucking kidding me? You're 50 at any age. It's fine. I don't, if you're over 18, that's even just on law, man. It's like, wow, you're really controlled by that. That's really sad that you still have that in your heart. That's really, what do you think about things like that? About, I know right where you're going to go, that it's fine, but wow. Would you do something if how do people go about that? How do we change that in our life and say it's not, no, fuck, I don't care what they think. How do the people do that in a light manner where they can they start making decisions? How does that go?
I always tell people, well, what do you want? What do you want? What lifestyle do you want? That's the ultimate question you have to answer. Most people don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to like come up with some like bullshit answer that everyone has. It's like, everyone wants that. Everyone wants a good body. Everyone wants millions of dollars. But what do you want? You know, like what lifestyle do you want? Because that looks different for everyone. You know, some people are just like, I want enough money to just get by and be on a countryside, like open space. Others are like, I want millions of Lamborghinis and all of those things. Like, you have to decide what it is for you. And then in that, you can decide, is how you are living your life currently in alignment with that? And are you happy? Does that make you happy? Does it make you feel fulfilled? You know? And if not, like, if you don't enjoy doing it, then why the fuck are you doing it? You know? And I get it. Like, well, it's just a means to get by. Fuck that. What would you rather be doing? And what do you need to do to make that happen? You know? I always tell people, the biggest mistake that people live by in their heads is that tomorrow's coming. And I have time. I got enough time to do this. And like, and I explained this on a podcast last week, you know, getting into relationships, people are always talking about, I need time to heal. And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't have time. Healing is a choice. Because if happiness is a choice, then what you are choosing right now is a choice. Otherwise, happiness isn't a choice. They all play by the same rules. And we play so many hypocritical things. And I try to challenge people, like, what if you just chose? What if you just chose? Because at the same time, that would mean that you would have to let go of all the ugly shit in your life because it's irrelevant right now. If yesterday never happened and today was the first day of your life, how would you feel? Make that your choice and then start new and start today, because that's really fucking powerful when you realize it's a fucking choice. It is. It's a really fucking choice. Is it an easy choice? No, not at all. But it still plays by the same rules. And being like, well, and you can hear people like, I can already hear people like talking and being like, but what about this? No, fuck that. There is no buts. There is no ifs. This is how life is actually played today. You know, right now, choice.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
What inspired you to be a coach then? How did you, was all of this, sounds like you worked through some of this long before you were even into this world.
Yeah.
You were starting to dig this up all by yourself, right?
Yeah, it was like interesting. I mean, I served an LDS mission, and you know,
where'd you go?
Seattle.
Did you go to Seattle?
Yeah, I did go to
I
Seattle.
love it. Good for you. Did you finish?
No, I broke my arm wrestling.
Hold on, somebody snapped your shit?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious. It fucking snapped.
On
Was
the
this
radio.
before you got your I mean, because your arms ain't small.
You're a fucking dog for sure.
Yeah.
You big boy.
So, well, I've always had like bigger arms and stuff. And basically what happened is that this is like where it gets embarrassing, but you have to hear the whole story.
I love it. I want to hear it.
So we went into this like Hispanic home. Kid didn't speak English. Okay. Didn't speak a lick of English. Like, and I'm like, man, like normally you can like understand me, but he didn't understand a thing I was saying. But they were like, dude, this kid, he's 15. He's never been defeated in an arm wrestle. But Matt, we think you can beat him. I was like, oh shit.
And you're big. You're kind of a bigger guy.
And I was like, why does everyone just like throw me under the bus, like volunteer me? And like, Matt, come on. And so they're like all speaking to him in Spanish. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. And they're like, yeah, let's do this. And before I get down on this like coffee table, I'm like, fuck. I like had this vision. I was like, my arm's going to break.
Oh, you fucking manifested
I
it.
did. I fucking did. And it's funny. The night before we were
my
goofing
God.
off, and in it, I was like, "Oh my fuck! Like this hurts so bad. I would rather
God.
break my arm." And the next day, that's exactly what happened. So I get down there and I win.
Holy
Like-
fuck.
I pinned him. And of course, I'm around a bunch of like other missionaries who think they're so funny, and they're like, "Dude, Matt, you didn't win. We didn't see it. I was like, I literally tapped his knuckles onto the table. We're done. And they're like, nope, go again. So I did. And the number one rule in arm wrestling is you don't look away. So if you look away, it torques and it changes the torque in your arm.
Look,
that's-
like turn your head.
Yeah, if you look at any video on anyone breaking their arm on YouTube,
It's looking.
yeah, they'll look a different way, and that's
No
when-
shit.
Yeah, and so it was really funny because we had,
That's fucking weird.
yeah, like one of our bishops, he was the world champion arm wrestler, like big, massive guy. He trained Stallone for that Over the Top movie.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so arm wrestling was like this big
I
thing
love
for
it.
us.
I
Like,
love that fucking movie.
yeah. And so, and you go down in his gym, and he has all these like the way that they train for arm wrestling, dude, it's fucking insane. Like it's all about grip strength and
Yeah.
all this stuff. So we would already play around with that. So he had told me, he's like, if you look away, you're gonna break your arm.
Oh shit.
So when I did it, I remember like I looked that way. Basically, like what happens is that torque on the like the humerus, it like becomes so much when you look away.
Holy fuck. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's just the way you turn your muscles
Damn.
or something. But because I was already weak from that first one,
Yeah.
that second one I pulled away and it just snapped. And I remember blacking out, and I looked at him across the table, and I'm like, "You okay?" Because you heard this, like you heard it.
Where
like,
was it at? On the radius? Humerus.
Yeah, it
You
was a
broke your fucking humerus?
Yeah, a spiral.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like I look at him across the table, and I'm like, "Dude, you okay?" And like a big old smile on my face.
Fucking passed out.
Yeah, he looks like a ghost, and he goes like this because he doesn't speak English, just points down like this. And I look down, and my elbow's still here, but my arm is completely flat on the table.
Oh
at a
my
90-degree
fucking
angle.
God. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and I look at
I
it.
wish you had pictures of that, bro.
I know, really, it would have been. so
Oh
gnarly.
my God.
So I look down, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, that doesn't look good."
Oh, fuck, bro.
So obviously I didn't say fuck. I was just like, "Oh man, that doesn't look good."
Yeah, don't say that on your mission. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't say that either.
Yeah, I know, right? So then I was like, I think it's just
Oh,
dislocated.
it's freaking me out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's just dislocated. Like I know this. Like, so I pulled it like this, and I was like, oh, it didn't pop. I was like, that's a bad sign. So then I start
God.
going into shock, and I'm like, okay, I'm going into shock. Like I just need to sit here and breathe, otherwise I'm gonna throw up. Like, and so I just sat there and like breathe, and they're like telling like the mission president like all this stuff, like this is what happened. They're like, okay, there's an urgent care just right down the street, go. And I'm like, by then, like all of the adrenaline and everything had like worn off, and I'm like, I am in so much pain right now. Like this is the most painful experience right now, and we're in this urgent care just waiting, and there's like guy just like there's a lady with like a finger that's like this, and she's like, my lizard bit me. I was like, really?
My fucking arm's broke.
Yeah, I was like, there's something seriously wrong with me. And the nurse tries to straighten it, and I am like screaming. I was like, please don't.
How
touch
was it? How was it looking? Talk to me here.
It was just like right here. I just did not want to move.
You couldn't
from,
move it.
No, I couldn't move it from my chest. Like I was just like squoze like this, and
Oh my God.
and the doctor came and he's like, yeah, we're gonna just force it straight. And he tried to, and I just screamed. I was like, you've got to be kidding. He's like, if you can't get it straight, you have to go to the ER. I was like, okay, we'll go there. Like, obviously, you don't know what you're doing.
They were trying to like fucking break it out, like pull it
yeah,
out.
yeah, so they could take an X-ray of it.
Oh God.
So then we go to the ER, and I'm waiting in the waiting room for another hour. Now it's been 4 or 5 hours, and they finally get me back there, and they're like, has anyone even offered you like ibuprofen or anything? I was like, no, I'm just like sitting here just trying not to breathe. And they're like, oh shit, like, yeah, let's get you some painkillers.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Stayed overnight in the ER, and the next morning I woke up to a doctor being like, "We're gonna put a rod in your arm to fix this." So
So you broke that bitch.
yeah, I was clean off, and I like could feel
Holy
it,
crap,
and then you could feel it like right here. It was like you could feel the bump
Damn.
of where the break was. It was crazy.
I didn't know that broke your humerus. I thought it was more of like an ulnar radial.
You can do that
Radius.
one, yeah. Like
But
some,
wow.
yeah, that's the
That's
gnarly
a
one.
big bone.
Yeah, that's the gnarly one to break. So that's what sent me home from my mission because they were like, "It's okay, you can stay out here. Like you only have 6 months left." I was like, "I am on oxy." Like at that point, they were still doing OxyContin, and I was like, "I'm on OxyContin." I was like, the room is spinning like a carousel right now. Like, like every time I get up, I can't do shit.
Did the boy convert? Did he end up being?
Yeah, he got baptized that day. This is baptism day.
Fucking win for Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Right there. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the night before, I had ate like 7 chili peppers, like from like the Spanish elders or whatever, and it was a joke because he thought he pranked me, and I was seriously on the shitter like all night. So the whole 24 hours was just like bad karma for me.
It just lined up.
Yeah, it just lined right up. I was like, dude, the last 24 hours have been fucking fun, but like I am miserable.
Oh my God, man.
What'd you like most about Seattle?
Man, I love Seattle. So that's when I went back and like sold insurance. I don't know what it is about Seattle. Like it's just something about it. Like I love the atmosphere. I love like the way it feels. And people are like, it rains all the time. I was like, that's the secret. Like you think that, but it's not like your typical rain. And I don't know. It's an amazing place.
I like Seattle too.
Yeah.
I like the rain though.
Yeah.
He's from Portland, so
Oh yeah.
he knows
Gets
that.
it, yeah.
He knows that area up there.
So I was born here. I lived out in Portland for 10 years. When we first moved to Portland, on the news it was like 2 people hanging from I forget what bridge it was. They committed suicide right there.
Shit.
And that was the first time I learned about the suicide rate in the Northwest.
Yeah. It's high.
It's really high, dude.
Yeah.
Because of the weather? Are you
Yeah.
thinking-
Depression up there. Yeah. If you
'cause
can't
it's
handle it.
gloomy and
Yeah. If you can't handle it, it does get gloomy.
I don't know if it's because of the weather. I loved it. It's green. It smells good.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. As a kid, it was like living in a jungle. It was awesome.
I love that. I love it too. I love it. And I'm from right here, man. It's a
Yeah.
desert here. But
I
I love the rain. I love it.
Yeah, it can kind of get claustrophobic because there's just trees around you can't really see, and I think that also gets people. Like when you're going down the freeway, it's just like you're going through a forest the whole time,
Yeah.
and that can get to people.
What if they don't know any better though? That's kind of
Yeah.
weird, right?
Yeah, it is.
If you don't know any better.
Yeah,
I like it over there.
yeah, I love it. That's one place I would move back to in a heartbeat.
So, well, don't leave. We like
yeah,
you here.
Yeah, I know, right?
You got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
What? So where did the coach thing go then? When did this start? Sounded like
Yeah, so I've been a personal trainer for 15 years now. So before I ever got into the coaching space where I was, I guess, doing life coaching, I was doing personal training.
gotcha.
And I always knew that there was something more for me with it. And when I would explain that to people, I was like, no, I want to get like worldwide people. I want to get people outside of this. Like, this is before online training was even a thing. Before online training blew up, I was building my own online programming and website and things like that. But like, I wanted to reach more people. And my motto was like, I just want to change one life, like just one person's life. And that's something that I've always stuck to. It's just like, it's just one person. Like, I don't really care about the masses of it. I just care about that one person, but I want it to be worldwide. I want it to be that kind of vision, you know?
You'll be you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
If you're not already there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've
How do
already done like so many like events and things like that. Like
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. I would put on, I mean, last year I was going to get back into it, but, after my divorce, my whole image of a coach changed and who I was and like my foundations and things like that, it was all shifted. And I had to reconnect with that. So I took a year to find that in 2019. And then last year, I really was coaching and getting back into it with like who I saw myself as,
What do you do? Do you do single one-on-one in the room stuff? Do you do stage presence stuff? What's your angle with it?
Yeah, so if I do a live event, they're usually just for men or just for women, and it's an all-day thing. The last time I did it, we went to I got an Airbnb in this nice, beautiful home, and it was just a 12-hour event of me straight coaching them. So I just break down everything. The founding principle that I really go off of first is there's 3 perspectives. There's how you perceive yourself, there's how others perceive you, and then it's also like how you want to perceive yourself. So those 3 perspectives, I really take a glass hammer to it because most people don't see that they're typically going to be living through this perspective of what others want them to, and that affects how they see themselves. And typically it's going to be really weak. It's really rare to find someone that's being like, yeah, fuck, they're probably not the ones like hiring coaches at this level. But they're really like, fuck, like, yeah, I never thought myself that could be that person that I wanted to be, because I've kind of always been blocked by how the world perceives me as. And I was talking to a client the other day, and I said, through transformation, one of the biggest fears that people don't realize that they have that creates self-sabotaging behaviors is knowing that they're going to have to leave that perspective, their old perspective. And that means how other people view them. You have to leave that perspective too. And that's a huge, like, I was like, oh shit, like I didn't realize I would have to do that, but I am afraid of like what people will think of me.
Yeah.
And that like perspective right there is like, you have to get through that hurdle first.
And it's just a thought, right? I've learned in my thing is this, it's just a thought, and it's okay to get rid of the goddamn thing, whatever it is. It's just a thought, man. No matter if it's them thinking it or you thinking it, it's just a thought, and it doesn't own you. You don't own it. It's gone. Yeah. Let it be, and then let's create a new one, right?
Exactly.
The story we tell ourselves. Yeah. How important is the story we tell ourselves to our subconscious mind? Is that a big deal? Is that part of your teaching?
Yeah, for sure. I said, how you view yourself and the story that you tell yourself most is the story that you'll create. So you have to, and like that goes back to everything else that I was going through, like through the divorce and everything that I do. It's a story. It's a story that you're telling yourself, and you have to be willing to challenge the story to create a new reality. Because whatever story you're living on repeat. We create stories based off of the environments that we live in and that we're brought in. But we're also living through the traumas of others. And I point this out to people. I'm like, a lot of, like, take the whole pandemic. A lot of people are living through the trauma of what society is going through. It's not like yours. Like, you're just creating and you're going along with it. You're just accepting that story. But what is the other story? Because when I drove down the road, I'm like, I could see, holy shit, like we're in a pandemic. Like the whole world is like closed down. Or I could see it's a normal day. What perspective? What story are you telling yourself the most, and which one are you living through? See, you're taking on like the world's trauma as your own and being like, this is what it is. This is the reality. And so you start living through that, and like you'll limit yourself in what you're actually able to create. So you challenge your story and be like, that's not fucking true. That's not true. What that person said about me, that's not true. That's not the story I know.
Why do people stay stuck in believing what they're told, do you think?
So I always go back to, we are still animals in nature, right? And I always tell them, basically, if you think about, if we were to take a tiger and we were to just throw him into like the Antarctica, it would be way too much. But if we were to like upbring it in the Antarctica, it'd probably survive. It would learn, it would grow. We'd have to like help it along and nurture it in that environment, but it would survive. And then it would look really fucking weird to see a tiger up there. But, I always tell people we're the same way. Sometimes we just don't realize that we've been living in auto drive and we're conditioned into that auto drive. And so to step out of that, it feels really, really uncomfortable. And it can be a really shocking and traumatic thing if we don't have the tools and resources that we need to adapt to that new environment. And that's what the power of coaching is, because I take you and I'm like, no, I'm going to kick you off this fucking cliff. You're either going to live and like flap your wings, or you're going to fall, and then I'm going to have to come get you, and then we're going to go again. I'm going to kick you again.
Love it. I fucking love it.
You know, and you kind of get used to it and be like, fuck, well, it would probably be easier if I stopped falling and just learn to flap my wings, you know? And so it's kind of the same perspective. I think that answers your question.
It does.
you know?
Beautifully. Beautifully.
So yeah, like that's kind of, we get stuck in our patterns and routines, mostly because our subconscious is programmed to do that. We live on autopilot through our subconscious. And what people don't realize is that you only have, I think, maybe five conscious choices that you can make before your brain starts to fry out, before it starts to feel on burnout. Everything else in your day is pretty much on autopilot. That's why if you like schedule, like you're going to be more effective if you have a whole week schedule planned and daily routines and morning, you're going to have a lot more bandwidth to handle the 5 other crucial decisions that you're going to have to make throughout your day. And that's how you're going to be more effective. So the more autopilot you can put on your life, the better you're going to be. But you have to be okay to say like, oh shit, this isn't working. The autopilot that I created isn't working. I'm going to have to shift it and do this instead. So that's the psychologically why we do that.
We just went through, we're just about out of it with last month being Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any cool little things that you can set people with, like the 3 things to think of? Do you have a simplified version of a really good something people can grab a hold of and simplify? Like, I know it's a very vague, broad thing, but what are some simple things people can do every fucking day?
Yeah.
Change their story. How do you start just doing your best not to be in a depressive thing? I have a whole different outlook on the way it works. I'm just curious what your perspective is. Is there a simplified version of, if you kind of try these few things every day, it will absolutely help?
Yeah. Really what I tell people, like, just start creating small wins, because it's the small little actions and the wins that you create under your belt that are going to create your happiness again. Actually, like, I had a really powerful story where one of my clients, we were on a coaching call, and like this client was constantly depressed, constantly struggling. I'd pull them out of it, and then they'd go right back in, and just like this whole victim, and just so sad and depressed that one time we were on a call, and they were like, I'm going to just take pills. I think I'm done. And I was like, listen, like, don't do it. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, if you do, I'm going to have to send the police to your home. And they're like, you don't know where I live? I was like, yeah, I do. Trust me, you filled out something and you don't realize that I know where you live, and there's a reason why.
Right.
And so, and they lived in a different state. They did it though. I was like, holy fuck, like, this is really happening. Like, they literally just tried to commit suicide on the phone with me. And I had to like really make a conscious choice, and I had to let them. And that sounds really bad, but I let them. I said, that's going to be your choice. I can't save you, because either way you're going to do it, and I'm not taking responsibility for it.
So whoever it was physically did it, you heard it, do it, whatever, and you said, good, okay, man, now what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then I said, okay, well, I know my legal obligations. I called the police. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to call them. Are you going to survive? I don't know. Like, I don't know. But you made that choice. That's not on me. Just know whatever choice you make, you chose it. Like, not me. And I'm not here to save you.
Dude, how did that shake out?
Fine. Like, they're great now. They still work with me, and it's amazing.
Good.
Completely different. And like, when we have our coaching calls, and I said, isn't it so great? Like, you smile now. Like, you're smiling on the phone, and you don't complain to me. The shit that you bring to me now, totally different. You don't even contemplate committing suicide. You don't even contemplate your depression anymore. And I was like, the only reason why is because you started taking little actions, and you just started doing more for yourself, and you just started taking little small actions every single day, and you're changing. I was like, I've seen this multiple times through like my coaching, and helping people, it's not big. Again, like when we go back to that bar, like you think you got to get that 10,000 like
Right.
followers and everything, and you're going to push everything into that to make that happen. I was like, it's not. It's actually by scaling down and starting from where you are and doing the small little things and compounding those every single day. And if you can do that, it will change your life forever.
Absolutely.
And like there was something that I just like when I got a divorce, I just said I wrote this whole book about like how I was like really feeling. I need to go back through it and rewrite it, but it was simple things where I made my bed. Like, and it's still something I do every day. It doesn't even matter. I had to start doing things for me, and it was I'm doing this for my future self. I'm making my bed so that my future self at 10 p.m. or whatever goes to bed can thank me, and I can have a sense of gratitude. I started having more gratitude for every little thing in life, and just realizing like there's like that is the key. Gratitude in everything you do. Gratitude changes the energy in you. I don't even care if it's like I'm just grateful for this cup of water. It doesn't matter. The energy that flows through you with gratitude, it biologically changes who you are.
Absolutely. So small wins. That's one of the biggest things. Have a small thing.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Just smile today. Let's just fucking smile, George.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just put a smile on your face, bro? Good. We'll talk tomorrow, man. Relax.
Yeah.
Spread that smile. Things
Yeah.
like this. Is that as simple as it could be for people?
Yep. I was like, you see, we in our heads think that it has to be and look a certain way. Even like you read all of these books, and I said one of the biggest damaging things in self-development books is that we read those and we think, I have to do it that way. And we put so much pressure on ourselves to do it that way. And it's like, you got to be in the 5 a.m. club, otherwise you won't be successful. That's not true. I guarantee you there are plenty of people sleeping until 10 just as successful. Or just to the amount of success that you want in your life and where you'd be happy.
Right.
You know, paying bills, no debt, stress-free, just living how you want to live. You know, I was like, the question comes down to what lifestyle do you want to live and how do you do it? You know, how do you do that? And if you can do that with a small little actions every single day, it will work. It's just the universal law. It's how things work. And so I say to my clients, I don't care how it looks. Just do it. Like, I don't care what it is. If it is just smiling, if it is just drinking 1 cup of water, that's a win. And you celebrate the hell out of that
Yeah.
until you feel like you can do more. And then you do it. Then you add. That's why it's a compounding effect. It's like, that's how I did it. I didn't just like do it all at once. And I did do it all at once. And it was like super stressful. Like, and it just felt like I grew this fear is like, if I don't do it, then I won't be successful. I was like, that's not true. The result is what I'm looking for. And the result will be the same. It just has to matter to me. So
these people, all of us that have these overwhelming, like this cat sitting on this right here, this guy with his head fucking ready to jump off this bridge. This anxiety, this depression, this thing. I have a very, very strong belief on how I think it works.
Mhm.
I want to know, like, understand it even from your perspective. Is it the idea is just too much? Everything is fucking compounded so heavily on this person, whoever this is.
Mhm.
They can't fucking handle it. So is it simple to say, man, just little stuff. Calm down, one step at a time, man.
Yeah.
That's what I took from how you said that.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I believe it's a choice. I think anxiety's a choice.
Mhm.
I think depression's a choice. I think all of these things are inside of us. We decide to go there
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, no, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Get up.
Yeah.
Get off your ass. If we've had this talk many times, if you physically can't get up, do something different. I'm
Yeah.
not being so real as to say, get off your ass. Well, I am. Get off your ass and do something about it.
Yeah.
Because it just compounds and it compounds and it compounds. I really think, how do you feel about that? Just getting up and goddamn moving for some reason, for a
Yeah.
purpose of something. What do you think about that? Is that real?
Yeah, like to a point, it's like very real. Like for a lot of people, I'm like, you're holding on to stuff that like doesn't even matter anymore. And so like you also have to address the trauma that you're facing that's creating those feelings and emotions. You have to also understand how it works. I always draw a diagram to say like, here's the middle line. This middle line is 0. 0 is the present moment. It's a beautiful place to be. And people don't realize that being present is nothing. Like the most present feeling, it's actually feeling nothing, because everything else is a sense of connection to, well, gratitude is a sense of nothing. You can have gratitude and be present because that's happening right now. I can have gratitude for this. Anything else is based off a past or future feeling. any kind of emotion that you're going to feel is based off of past or futuristic feeling. Like if you're happy, it's because something in the past made you happy that you're relating it to something right now. So people have to understand that and how your emotions work, and in the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So when we get anxiety, we spike up, and anxiety doesn't really know like if it's positive or negative. It's just kind of the emotions and feelings and excitement that we get. And so some people don't have a control on that. And so that could look like stress, that can look like excitement, that can look like something overwhelming in life that's happening. And it can go clear up here. And then like what happens is that there's a drop off. And that drop off, if you go past 0, you start hitting those depression lines. So it depends on how hard that drop off is. And some people will have high anxiety, and then all of a sudden it will sink it super deep into depression. So I always tell people you have to have modules in there to level out. When you're oversensitized, you have to bring that back down to level, and you have to like take care of it before you can't just like let it go. Otherwise it does sink way too low and it goes into those depressing, like dark places. But a lot of that can be triggered by trauma in the past.
Sure.
And that's where I say, now you get to challenge stories. Now, like your trauma, you get to go back through, you get to challenge what you've been through in the past and what scares you the most. If you've been in a shitty relationship that's creating this trauma inside of you, you get to challenge that. And now you get to control that story. And that's the key to this. Other times, I'm just like, dude, you're not doing anything with your life. You're not trying hard enough. You're not trying or like believing. And it's always coming back to that belief system. Being like, you don't believe that you can actually do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you don't believe that you can be whoever you want, but they can. I was like, what are you, like, you're creating a slave-encompassed life for yourself? And that's going to cause the depression, and that's going to cause the anxiety. So sometimes it is, like, I've talked to people, I'm like, you're getting depressed because of a story that hasn't even happened. And that's where I say, like, you've taken on the world trauma just because of, like, how you've, like, some people have it with divorce. I just see everyone getting a divorce. Everyone's getting a divorce. No, just a lot. And it's like people are coming forth with their stories, and that's all you surround yourself with.
Right.
There's plenty of marriages. There's plenty of happy married couples, you know?
So focused attention's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
The things we think about constantly, we're creating a deeper neural pathway in our brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also tell people, like, you got to watch out for the movies that you're watching, because you're fantasizing and romancing this drama, you know, because that's what they do. That's like, I'm actually an actor and model too. And part of it is how we do that and how we bring out those emotions. Everything is based off of feeling. We connect through our feelings. And so a good movie is only going to be good because it connects you with feeling. That's it. You know,
You're a fucking actor and a model. Where the fuck did that come from?
I know, right?
That was a left little hook fucking thing. We ain't going to leave that hanging.
I know, right? I'm not like fully like
Good for
full
you.
blown. I did it more
bro.
as a, I know, right? I do it more as a, like, for me, I was like, it's really great if you're like speaking and doing speaking engagements, because you are trained on like how to bring your emotions out and how to speak and do that. And
Yeah.
it's really, really powerful in that sense, is getting in touch with your inner feelings and emotions that allow you to like control that. And so, yeah, and I just thought it was a fun hobby during the pandemic. And
What adult films can we find you in?
the Asian, no, I'm just kidding.
You fucker. I knew it. I knew. I'm going to start looking.
It's an easy in,
I know
man.
look at your last name. Come on, Johnson.
It's a highly requested Asian porn. So
I'm fucking looking it up. She's probably already doing it. She's on
Yeah,
her fucking
she's on
phone. Look at her. She's looking right now.
I
So
know,
is he.
right?
That would be awkward if your wife
How
is
funny
looking
was-
him
She's
up.
like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
His
That's
dick
all
is huge.
Dude, what else don't we know about you? That was
Oh,
fucking
man.
beautiful.
I know. Just throw it in there.
I know you're a gun guy. I see
Yeah.
you're a gun guy.
Yeah.
I support that as well. What are you openly open into that? Like you're all about that? It's just something you dig? What
I grew up with them, and my mom is like a huge gun collector. And so like I was always raised by guns. So, you know, I love shooting them. I love like just playing with different guns and stuff like that. So,
Do guns kill people?
oh gosh, no,
That's what. Thank you.
no, fuck no.
Thank you. Spoons make you fat, right?
right, right.
I love that.
Yeah. Again, like I always tell people, I'm like, when you start saying stuff like this, you're just playing in the role of the victim mentality.
That's
Like you really have to understand, like, and hear the narrative. And what's happening is everyone is playing into the victim mentality. I was like, and I don't give a fuck like that. I forget like all of like what's happening in society in that. Actually, just look at your own life. Because if you're being a victim in one area of your life, you're being a victim in every area of your life, and it's holding you back from actually having the life that you want. If you ever blame anyone for anything in your life, for how they make you feel, for how they make you think, for anything, any shit in your life, it's on you. And like until you start to be okay with owning that shit, you're always gonna be fucked up. But you're gonna keep on telling other people that they're fucked up. It's like,
Wow. I like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I always tell people, I'm like, dude, it is 100% your fault. Why? Because you showed up there. You're in their space. You know, you chose to be there. Take ownership of that.
I like that.
You know?
I'll leave that right be.
Yeah.
I really like that. What do you carry every day? Do you carry
I have my Glock around in my car.
most of the time?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
carry a Glock.
Yeah. So I just keep it simple.
Keep it real simple.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the idea, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's next for you, bro? What are you up to? Do you care? Are you a planner that way? Are you a keeping things open? Are you what's your idea of what makes you tick? What's your next move? You got a big move coming up?
Oh man. So it's really funny because I'm like an anomaly. No one really knows like what I do. They just know that Matt does everything. So, you know, I do
I might know
coaching.
something about that.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
I
that.
do coaching, and my coaching kind of breaks off into compartments where I do coaching. You can still buy my fitness programs to lose weight and stuff. Again, I've been doing it like 15 years. I just kind of I kind of find that like there's only so much excitement in that after 15 years of like helping people lose fat. I'm like, it's the same game every day. You're either going to do it or you're not. If you do it, you get results. If you don't do it, you don't get results. I don't know what to tell you, you know? And that's kind of
Yeah.
like my mood with it.
It's
So
real. It's very real.
yeah, I was like, just do it.
It's not
Uh,
easy. It's
So yeah,
complicated.
I was like, some people come to me, I'm like, you're 300 fucking pounds and you don't think you can lose weight just by eating healthy and working out every day? Try me.
Yeah, I like that.
I say it with love, but try me. And then I guess it's life coaching. I really don't like that term. I don't know what to call it, but I really focus on the whole embodiment of like, your body, your mind, your spirituality, your relationships, and your financial well-being. So we focus on bringing all of that to its highest potential.
You say we a lot. Do you work with a team? How does that work? You say we.
I just mean it like me and my clients.
Okay,
We
got
try
it. Got it.
So yeah, I guess no one's ever pointed that out, but I do that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I just
Yeah.
wondered if maybe you had a big team with you or something that you worked with or something.
Nope, just me.
Cool,
I don't
man.
work well with others.
I might know some about that too. You'll have that.
Yeah. And then I also do like business consulting. It's just a natural gift that I have to do business strategy. And so it just kind of got into that. And, you know, I have a few clients that I work with, and I love it. Like working like and putting myself out there as a business consultant and to be like, has he made millions? No. But he's really fucking smart in strategy. And like, it's just always been a natural gift of mine. And even in high school, I wanted to go to like this LDS business college. My mom laughed at me, so I never went, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I've always had like that itch for like business, and just kind of, it would just kind of works in my mind easy.
So if somebody has an idea of starting a business, they would come to you, kind of thing, or even an
Yeah.
established business saying, "Help me out, man. What am I up to?" Is
Yeah,
that you
both.
can work with both of these things.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I'm really good at like the 10,000 mark, like because most people don't realize if they want to keep growing from 10,000, they have to do specific things to kind of scale up.
10,000. What do you mean?
10,000 a month. Like,
Oh, got it.
yeah, if they're making 10,000 a month, I play it
Okay.
by month rolls. But like they have to do specific things in order to hit that next benchmark, you know? And so that's kind of what we strategize in. And, you know, most people from 0 to 10,000, they're just used to being solo entrepreneurs. And then once they're right there, I'm like, no, now you have to build your team to get to the next one. You have to start scaling that, and you have to look and see where that is and what is appropriate and what their role is and all of that structure. So
That's cool, man. So you just
Yeah.
do like people just pay you to get to this thing. It's like a monthly thing kind of
Mhm.
deal. Is that how it works?
yeah.
That's
So I
cool,
just
man.
come into their business and kind of work inside of it. So it's a lot of fun for me.
How long have you been doing that for?
Since the beginning of the year, really.
So it's new.
Yeah.
It's new. I
Yeah.
like it.
So Donut Star Cafe down in Draper, they're a client of mine. The new owner bought it in the fall, and I started working with them from day one, and they're killing it right now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're killing it. That donut shop almost brings in like. So I shouldn't say
Wow.
that. That's private information. No one said.
we can edit that.
Yeah, it's a lot of money they bring in. Whatever.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's stuff like that. Like I love doing stuff like that. I'm also the business relations for Exodus, which is an anti-human trafficking organization. So I do business relations with them and work with their social media team. Right now we're in the process of really building that social media team. So I'm kind of like heading that. And then, that's basically everything that I do right now.
Do you build spaceships? Do you fucking whittle wood?
know,
what
right?
what else do you? And I know you don't have a podcast.
No, I don't
You
have a
fucking
pod-
need one.
I know, right?
I know you don't want to hear that, but you do.
I know, right?
That would grab everything you do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's oh man, I think you should do one. I think you speak
know.
well. You have a really good
Thank you.
story.
Thank you.
I don't you need a fucking podcast.
I'll get there. I'll probably get there.
I think you need one, man, for sure.
it's the thing about like,
Not that I know, but fuck,
well, no, I mean, I do. When podcasts, see, like it's always funny because before podcasts were ever popular, I already had one, and I was like doing it when they were like first like starting to build.
really?
Yeah, so I would like do one. I had like a Yeti mic and stuff, and I would do it from my computer and stuff. But it was really hard for me to come up with what to talk to because I work best when it's like banter like this.
Right.
And so at that time, I didn't interview or talk to anyone. I just kind of talked.
Now you get another whoever you're with, a coach or whoever, and just
Yeah.
you start one right now and you call us. You say, hey, come on my show. You call the other side of the beehive. Hey, come on my show.
I know, right?
And before you know it, you fucking
we'll get there.
do it, man.
We'll get there.
You just have
Yeah.
you're so good at it, man. You
Thank
talk, you speak so well. You have a
Thank
lot of
you.
good information. Your story's fucking weird.
So
I love
weird.
it. You eat fried chicken in Tallahassee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your story. You're an actor. All of a sudden, you're a porn actor. I didn't know that.
Porn actor. I just want people to go look it up and just,
I know.
dude, I gotta get some
Matt-
dirt on him.
Matt Johnson, look it up. What an Asian fucking name, by the way.
I know, right?
I love it.
I know everyone. Like I've always like thought about if I went to do like a stand-up comedy show
They'd
or
be like,
something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and that's what I'd be, and like that's how you know you're all fucking racist. You all expected me to be white.
Look, my name's Junior, so when I walk up, they're like, "That's a Mexican name."
Yeah,
Usually,
yeah.
they're like, "You're fucking white, bro." Junior, what? Yeah, everybody does that shit. I
Yeah.
think it's funny. But
Yeah,
I
it
think
is funny.
The race game's funny to me. I don't.
It
think
is.
It's not that ridiculous. I think it's funny.
Well, being Asian is totally different from being like black or any other race because I tell people I'm like when it comes to Asians, white people are really fucking confused, especially here in Utah because there's like hardly any Asians here.
Mhm.
So it's not like California where like no, you're the minority because we run this place.
That's real.
Yeah, and so like I always laugh. I was like, white people are really funny when it comes to Asians because number one, you're like really confused and you like really think that we're like so smart and we're gonna build you the next engine computer and or whatever.
Cell phone.
Yeah, like you think that like I'm gonna do that, and so when you need me for that stuff, you're like, oh, I bet Matt can help because he's Asian. And then if I say, then I'm like, yeah, because I'm Asian. I'm like, fuck, man, you aren't Asian. You're like Asian, but like totally white inside. I was like, and so I always like laugh and I'm like, now you guys wonder why I struggle with like my identity crisis growing up because I don't know where the fuck I belong.
My name is not Sung Lee, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Bro, you need to do comedy.
I know.
You could fucking stand up.
I know.
I guarantee you could crush something like that.
Yeah, that would be really funny. I've always like thought about doing an open mic.
We know the people, man.
I know, right?
We can send you that way.
I don't know.
We know the guys.
Yeah.
You go to Wise Guys and crush it, bro.
I know. It's funny because I really do have a Korean name.
What is it?
So it's really funny. That story is really funny
How
too.
come you don't go by it?
I don't know. I've kind of like thought about it, bringing some of it back. I told that to my mom like last year because I was gonna put it as my actor name, and she kind of like didn't love it. She's like, "Oh, but your name's Matt Johnson." And I'm like, "Well, it's an alias like type thing, and like for me, I kind of feel more secure like people not knowing me in public." But yeah, it was. It's on the birth record. It's always Sun Jin Suk, and I always have to say that because I took that to a Korean guy because I was like, "How do I say my Korean name?" Because I just say Sun Jin Suk like it says, and he just like, I was like, "What?" Well, he started laughing. I was like, "What? This is my name. Like I know it is. I've seen it." And he's like, "That's funny because that's a girl's name."
Like, fuck, now I'm a fucking girl.
Yeah, I was like, well, boy, does this create a lot of...
I don't know what to do.
I know, I was like, I'm 25 years old, and now I'm really having an identity crisis right now. He's like, the only way it could be a guy's name is if it's Jin Suk Sun. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's probably my last name then? He's like, yeah, probably. He's like, but I don't know. He's like, because even then, it's still kind of a weird name to give a boy. I was like,
Matt Johnson it is. Fuck
Yeah,
this shit.
I
I'm
know,
over it.
right? And so he taught me how to say it. And he's like, it's Jin Suk Son.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that would be a good tattoo.
Fucking right. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
If only we knew a guy though.
Yeah, if only we knew someone to do that.
Do you have any tattoos?
No, I don't.
No,
I
we-
was telling
we
them,
talked
I was
about
like,
that.
yeah, I've been like thinking about getting my first one. I just don't know what and if I am going to like love it on me.
Can you be in? Because you do competitions, right?
I used to. I don't anymore.
You don't compete no more.
No.
Is that illegal? Like,
No.
do they frown upon that? Like tattoos and stuff and bodybuilding?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get so tan you can't even see them. So
God damn. Do they cover you guys in that shit?
yeah, you
My
can't
fr-
see it.
My friend, it was funny. One summer, we were outside playing and stuff, and he had a glove on. And we're like, what the fuck? Why you got gloves on? It's fucking 90 degrees outside. This motherfucker used his sister's tanning lotion, like the bronzer shit, to jerk off. Oh! and so his hand was all fucking orange.
Was he white guy?
Nah, he was fair skinned, but and so you could totally see like the one hand, his palm was just orange, and like I was like, bro, what?
Pull your pants down.
Put that glove back on.
I was like, you got the most tan dick.
Oh my god!
shit.
Isn't that shit's designed to like make you show the definition? Is that the
Yeah, so
why they do that?
Yeah,
God,
so when
that
you get
looks
under
cra-
when you get under lights, it doesn't like drown out like your definition. Otherwise, you'll look really flat. And
look
so
fucking unhealthy.
It
It's
does.
creepy looking.
it is creepy. It's so dark. It's
Holy
crazy.
shit, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not for a look. It's truly for muscle stuff.
Yeah,
They're trying
and
to.
even on stage, you just look tan. You don't necessarily look like. I mean, if you get it good, some people get like shitty tans. You're like, oh, like you look shitty on stage.
Damn, yeah, you're like, who the fuck is that? Oh, that's Matt Johnson.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yeah, I see his little bikini. I can see that dong. I see that dong hanging. That's Matt Johnson.
Hey,
right
that's
there.
worth money. It's paid money right there.
How come you quit doing that? Why'd you quit competing?
Like my body just couldn't take it anymore. That's
Rough
one
on
thing.
you?
Yeah, I did it for 3 years straight, and like they were really extreme cuts, and so I'm still trying to battle that back to get number one, the enthusiasm to want to like work out is like a bitch for me, but also like just doing the training and stuff like that, and then just seeing like the way that it's transforming and like the size difference and things like that. It's kind of like a size and look that I don't want to work up to. I don't really want to do that. So a lot of that has to do with it.
Some of
So
those people are fucking animals, bro.
yeah.
They are big and scary looking people.
Yeah. And I just kind of said I don't want to keep up with that. It's not, it consumes your life.
Absolutely.
You know, it's everything when you do it. So
How healthy is it, honestly? I think it's absolutely unhealthy as it gets, but that's just my perspective of it.
it's not that healthy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, like for me, like I know that like at some competitions I was in not the best shape. Like internal health, like I just
Yeah.
was not in good shape. So yeah, I don't say that it's the healthiest. If you do it slow and you do it in the healthy way, yeah, you can get down to that. But
Sure.
just know, like if you're doing, I would do 6 months, and I would only eat the same thing for 6 months. Like,
Holy fuck.
yeah. And
Like, what would it be?
Chicken, like, all day. Like, I know, like, in my last competition, like, at
Not
10
fried
a.m.
chicken.
Not fried chicken. Not fried. At 10 a.m., I would have 10 ounces of chicken on one of my meals. You know, and so like that's
10
kind of
fucking ounces of chicken.
yeah, and cooked like so. It was like it was a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, and then like throughout the day, you're still eating more chicken, and so like even to this day, like I'm like look at chicken, I'm like
Fuck
no.
a bunch of chicken. But fried chicken.
But fried chicken, no fuck with.
I'm gonna have some of that fried chicken.
Yeah.
Some of that breaded with that good sweet sauce on there.
Yeah.
Got it right here.
If I could eat Popeye's chicken and sandwiches like all day, like yeah, I'm in.
What's your favorite food, bro?
Ooh, tacos.
Are you fucking taco guy?
Yeah, I love it.
Just beef taco, just whatever taco.
Yeah, just tacos. So, and I just like to cook. So you know,
You cook her.
Yeah, like it's just a hobby. Like during the pandemic, I would make these big platter boards, and I would just go all out and make taco boards. I made charcuterie boards. And
Get you a truck, bro. Let's do you a taco truck.
it's so funny. Like people have like, dude, why didn't you just open a restaurant and
Yeah.
stuff like that? Like it's funny. Like anyone that knows me, they're like, dude, you should have like a restaurant or like cook your own, like sell this.
We're fucking coming over for tacos one day. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Do it, man. Why don't you
Do
do
it.
your taco truck? It'd be dope.
Oh man, I like actually it's funny on my way up I like had that thought like I wonder if I would open a restaurant or like what my biggest concerns of that would be and like I dabbled in photography because I like taking photography that kind of like saved me through my divorce as a hobby and I started doing it as a business and then I like found that I didn't like it as a business because I couldn't have my creativity in it anymore. And so that would be the same thing like with food. That would be my biggest concern. I'm cooking a ton of the same thing over and over and losing the creativity behind it.
Catering, then. Catering it is.
Yeah. Seriously.
What the
That's
fuck
what I
don't
should
you do?
See, I told you that's like what people say all the time. Like it's so confused.
What don't you do? You fuck. Well, you
I
don't.
don't
Do you
know.
strip? Are you a stripper?
Only on private events.
Can't think of
I do got one last question.
Yeah.
So you kind of said that you don't work well with others. You kind of like you take everything on your own, right? Even when you were talking about crying in that room by yourself, releasing all that pressure. Who does the punching bag go to? Do you just keep taking punches and do you have anybody that you go to and talk to? Do you still have a mentor?
Yeah, so I still have like mentors and people. Like I just had to be very careful like with who I let in and who I would trust with the information that I was giving them. So I mean like the person that I'm dating right now is a very good person they're the ones that I've been able to open up with completely in so many different ways. And so obviously that's why we're dating. But as far as that goes, I mean, I've really learned the empowering place to handle my shit and to heal myself, to not like put it onto other people. And not that that works for everyone. I don't recommend it. Like if anyone comes to me and says like, and I share that story or share my story, I'm like, I'm not saying that that's how you should do it because that's a real fucked up way to do it. And you have to really, really be strong and really have the balls to handle that.
To do it alone? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? To go inside and
Yeah. And to not go into that deep, dark place and to not like, you have to know, like, if you're going into that deep, dark place, you have a way out. And that would be like someone to talk to and really help you with. And so like, because I didn't trust anyone at that point, I was like, no one even fucking cares. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I could tell someone like they wouldn't care. It'd just be like me wasting air. I just learned to be like, okay, like what do I need to go through? What processes do I need to go through when I'm feeling something? Like if I feel anxiety kicking in and stress kicking in, how do I handle this? One of the things that like really helped me is even if I was homeless, because a lot of people put pressure on like, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose everything. Cool. Guess what? If you woke up on the side of the road tomorrow, you'd still wake up with a choice. In our minds though, we equate that to death. And that's what we're really afraid of, right? We're when we think about those things, we start to think, oh, I'm going to die. But the truth is like, you're probably going to wake up. You just won't have a roof over your head. But now you have unlimited choices to make. Do you go get a tarp? Do you go like into the survival mode? Or do you like say, oh fuck, I'm gonna like go hustle right now and make some cash. I'm gonna go deal with this. I'm gonna like make enough money for tonight, and I'm gonna get a hotel room, I'm gonna get food, and this is how I'm gonna do it? Or do you just say, no, I'm just gonna live on the side of the road until like something comes to me? Either way, you're gonna have a choice. You're not fucking dead. And so you can wake up with that same mentality today with the same shit that you have and being like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can't lose. You can't lose if you just try and you put effort into your day and you just really put that intention behind what you are trying to create and what you want to create in your life. And that's the power that comes when you understand the power of your choice. So like, did I have anyone? Did I lean on anyone? No, I just learned how to really like say, this is my choice 100%. And I don't want to put it in anyone else's hands. When I say I don't work well with others, like if I'm like working for someone and they're paying me and now they're in control of how much I'm getting paid, how often I work and what work I need to do, I don't fuck with that. I'm in control. So if I have a team, I do great. If like I was the leader of a team and they were working for me and things like that, that's totally fine. Other people need that. Other people need kind of like leadership. Other people need that, like to be told what to do, how to live their life. Other people need that. I'm not one of them.
I feel that. What makes a good leader to you? What do you think a leader is?
Integrity. It's being okay to fail. A lot of people are so scared to fail, and I just tell people, fail. Anticipate that you're going to fail. If you're going to go do something, anticipate failure. And if you don't, you're lying to yourself, and you're going to be made a fool the moment that you fail, and you won't know how to get out. If you anticipate failure, your commitment to get out of that, to change it, to fix it, to find the solution will be way stronger than just sitting and saying, it's done, I failed. And that's what people don't understand. But that's what a real powerful leader does. He bets on himself time and time again. And he understands that as long as I can bet on myself, I'm fucking untouchable.
I like that. Willing to put your needs the needs of others before yourself. Mm-hmm. Would that be another good example of a leader? I
always say choose yourself first.
Okay.
Do everything for yourself first. Make sure that you're taken care of, because a lot of times leaders are like self-sacrificing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you're going to sink your ship. You're going to fuck yourself over time and time again, because then you're just like, well, this time I'll let Larry get away with this. And then it will happen again. Well, I let Larry do it. So after that, the compounding effect that it has on you of letting people cross a boundary in your space actually has a very negative effect on you. So you have to know and establish the things and the boundaries that you have of choosing yourself first before you ever do that, before you ever give out any kind of like gifts or handouts. Sure. Anything like that. So I always say like the leaders choose themselves first, but they're also the ones failing first so that you don't have to. Anyone that comes to me and like, what makes you a great coach? What makes you a powerful coach? I'm like, because I've fucking been there. Like, there's no bullshitting me. You're going to sit here and you're going to tell me like how you feel. Good. I have felt that. Good. I have felt that. I was like, you go back through my life. There's not anything that you're really going to come with me that I can't relate to, but you can do the same thing. I was like, because you're not on a fucking island. You're not special. I tell everyone that. I tell my clients that you're not fucking special. So stop coming to me with your bullshit stories, thinking your story is so much significant and so much more special than anyone else's, that somehow you get this free ticket to be the victim. I was like, you're not.
I like that.
You know? And I'm just the fucking leader, so I already know, and I can call you on your bullshit because I've already challenged all my stories. So
how receptive is that usually? Does it usually work in your favor? You ever had somebody say, fuck you, then I'm out?
I said, good.
Yeah, have you had that?
No.
They're there. They're ready to learn.
Yeah, because I let people do it, though.
Good.
You know, as soon as people, like, choose the victim, I'm like, sorry you feel that way. That's your choice, though. I was like, and soon you learn that's why your life is fucked up and that's why you even hired me, soon you'll probably realize that.
Yeah.
I was like, but I'll let you do that. And they're like, that, like, immediately switches the energy because they're like, fuck, he's right.
I'm the victim.
Yeah. I was like, the moment that you catch that, like, the moment you can actually see, like, if you're coming at me, blaming me, it's like, that's the whole problem with your life.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like, I have people do it all the time. Be like, I can't believe I paid for this. Paid for what? What, you thought you were just going to hire me, we'd have one conversation, your life would be fixed, and you'd have this magical life? Bro, it takes, like, at least a year. And if you ain't ready to fuck with that, like, fuck, you're shooting yourself in the foot,
For sure.
you know? Like, I tell people all the time, a full transformation takes 1 year, no matter what.
Working hard.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, man.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I love it. I could go for fucking days, man.
I could too, so.
I like it, man. I really like it. How long we been going? Are we in that little hole? Are we in the good spot?
You guys been talking to an hour and 40 minutes.
Fuck.
Well, fuck me, bro. I thought we was about an hour.
Yeah. Well, I hope that like there's enough value in here that people like want to listen that
There
long,
is
you know?
more value in this than anything.
Good.
This is beautiful, bro.
Good.
This is exactly why I do this.
Good.
I love this.
Yeah, me too.
And I could do 6 fucking hours of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
people be like, okay. I don't give a fuck. I love it.
Well, I mean, like if people listen to this, I'm like, even the little things that I shared right now, if you just like really went back, took notes, and started applying just that,
Yeah.
I guarantee you in the next 90 days, your life would be totally different.
I love that.
I guarantee if you could like actually listen to like what I'm saying, those things. The problem with these things is people are like, yeah, whatever. Everyone's saying the whole fucking thing. I was like, no, but you got to like sit back and like.
That's the problem. They
Go-
said that.
Exactly. I was like, that's the problem. Is like you go back and really understand the depth of like what those mean, and you'll be like, oh fuck, like I could really change my life right now. You know, my coaching, I tell people all the time, I'm like, you're not paying me to change your life. You do that.
Mm-hmm.
All you're coming to me for is accountability to do the things that you said you were going to do, and then to just get the tools and to teach you how to use the tools. That's it. And you think that I'm like going to change your life? No, like that's where you're going to really be disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's the role of a coach. And I don't think a lot of people in today's society really understand the role of a coach. Like, I'm just here to teach you the tools, how to use the tools, and to hold you accountable to do the things that you said you're going to do.
It's not a miracle.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah.
Fuck, bro. We need to do more of this.
Hey, I'm always down. Like, I love it. I love the shop and everything. So,
Yeah, man. I enjoyed having you here.
yeah.
What's your favorite music, bro?
Everything. I listen to everything. I grew up on music. I used to play the drums and the piano. And
Fuck, see? I knew it'd get into I knew it.
Some.
God damn.
Yeah.
Dude, you're incredible.
Thank you.
That's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool, man. Where can everybody find you on all your socials? Socials.
See, that's why I hate my social media and my name where it comes into play.
I love it.
I know. So, my Instagram is MJ_coach lifestyle. And then, yeah, if you can find me on Facebook with Matt Johnson, I'm the only Asian Matt Johnson you're probably ever going to see. So it's pretty fucking easy. Look for that one.
Well, I think you're a fucking gangster, man. I think you're cool as hell.
Hey, thank you.
And
I
I think
appreciate that.
you're making big moves, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's cool. I've seen all your stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's solid, man.
Yeah. I mean, like we could go on and like talk about like the whole spiritual side that I'm like really like diving into, and about like talking to men about how to really start to harness and control their masculinity with like certain spiritual practices on that. And like men don't understand today like how powerful of the energy of masculinity is, but men also don't realize the energy leaks that they have within themselves.
Absolutely.
That's a route and a rabbit hole that I've been going down lately, and it's fucking powerful.
I bet I could learn a lot from that.
Yeah. Try like 100-day semen retention, stuff like that. Like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
fuck, yeah, right? Like
100 days, you hang on.
Yeah, 100 days of hanging on to like,
Isn't that not healthy for us, Matt?
but you have to learn how to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Damn.
there's like some certain things to it. Like, yes, it can be unhealthy, but there's also like a way to like harness it into the masculine energy,
Yeah.
and it becomes really fucking powerful.
Holy fuck, we need part 2 of this.
I bet you
motherfucker.
that day 101, that first nut
fucker's
is
gonna-
disgusting.
That fucker's going.
Clogged
Someone's
up.
going to lose their head. It's going through the wall. Pow.
Yeah.
Projectile.
This shit
I
look
know,
like
right?
Coke.
I know.
Holy fuck!
I know.
Wow.
You bring this into the Western culture, and it's like mind blowing to even
Oh, yeah.
think about. Like,
Fucking right.
yeah, and
Some
it's,
guys can't go. It's 6 times a day. We,
Yeah.
like,
but that's like also the energy leaks that we talk about, and you know how men are like that, and so it's really really fucking crazy because what it causes is men to always just consume. And so some of the things that women feel from men is us always just wanting something from them.
right,
And it's an energy thing, a vibe that they feel is like, man, you just always wanted fucking sex from me.
right,
And we do, because it's an energy leak to fill us, to
right.
fulfill us. And so we're actually lacking, because women do naturally, they just connect, right? And so for the man, it's really hard for us to get there because we have to like open our hearts to that. And to do that is like really, really hard because we have to be in control of our energy.
Yeah.
And so that was like the point of like the semen retention, to learn how to control our energy, to not just immediately like ejaculate just because like we're looking for that release, but to be in control of it.
Fuck, dude, that's intense shit right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole
fucking-
fucking scary world right there.
Yeah, it is, right? You
Yeah.
really looking into the darkness and desires of like your inner man, and like really learning what the masculinity energy really is and what it has to actually offer the women. Oh man, like that stuff is fucking powerful.
Oh, bro.
But it's not being taught anywhere. And it's like so foreign to like our society.
We need to dig into that.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about this.
Yeah, we got some really cool shit with that coming up. Like once you start diving into it and you're looking at it and you're like, you see it in yourself and being like, fuck. Like you don't even realize like how much more energy you could have by plugging up the holes of the energy leaks that we have as men.
Oh, I totally could agree with that.
Yeah. And then learning just how to control all of that energy, to take it from like that sexual energy and harness that and to put it into everything else that you can do. That's like where it becomes really, really powerful, because now you're like using the energy that like we're meant to have in masculinity, and that's to create and produce.
Yeah.
That all comes through, but through like other energy.
Oh, fuck. Part 2, bro. Damn, that's a part 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you like really learn like how powerful and in control you can like be, and like what it can do with like the feminine energy. And
I like that.
like it becomes really, really powerful.
Well, when you get ready to master and do this thing and really open up with that, let me know. And I would love to talk about that
Yeah. Yeah.
or go through it however you put it out there. That'd be
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, like the stuff that we do, because I can see the power of it and like what it will do and how it will benefit. That is something that I am working with someone with, and so because they're further advanced in it than I am.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm still trying to gear up for like the 100 days. And I'm like,
Fuck, bro. That's gnarly. That's a
Yeah.
commitment.
Yeah,
That's some monk shit. That's
it is.
It's
It's
get
actually-
inside your head and control your ass. I could use that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like playing with the yin and yang.
Absolutely.
It actually is like an Asian culture thing.
I
So,
like that, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's really powerful. So
Well, bro, this is incredible. I'm very thankful to have you on here.
yeah, thank you for having me.
I
love
appreciate
it.
it. Do you have anything else you want to add to it quick? Or are you good?
Ah, man, the thing I always tell people, I'm like, live the fucking life that you want. Like, live it however the fuck you want, and make sure that you're doing exactly what you want, and that makes you the happiest and most fulfilled in life.
It's your story, right?
Yeah,
Tell that motherfucker.
exactly.
Live it.
Yep.
Don't fucking read it.
Yeah,
Live it.
live it.
I love that.
So,
Matt Johnson, thank you so much, bro.
hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Be good to everybody. Love everybody, and give hugs and kisses, not drugs.